Since it was the first official day, most of the classes had been introductions about what they would learn during their time at military school. Peter and Quinn had done their best to avoid most other students after everything they had been through. Fortunately, luck finally had smiled upon them, and nobody had troubled them. Once classes had finished, it was time to go for dinner. Quinn noticed he still had this pang of hunger in his stomach, so he was looking forward to dinner with enthusiasm. This time, Quinn and Peter both sat on their own at a table in the low-level area. Peter started to look around the room as if he was trying to spot someone. "I don't see Vorden anywhere. Do you think he's okay?" Peter asked, some worry in his voice. Quinn's eyes, which had been focused on his meal so far, roamed around the room as well, yet he too was unable to find Vorden at the canteen. "I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think we both know that he is a lot safer than us at this school," Quinn reminded Peter. The two continued to eat, and once they finished dinner, they decided to head back to their dorm room. To their surprise, Vorden was already in the dorm room, lying on his own bed. When the two of them closed the door behind them, Vorden lifted his head and smiled at Peter and Quinn like usual, as if the whole episode with him leaving them in the hallway in anger had never happened. "Hey, I've been waiting for you two for a while now," Vorden said as he got off his bed. "I wanted to apologize for earlier. I wasn't angry at you guys, but just at this whole situation." When Vorden got up from the bed, Quinn noticed a bruise on the side of their friend's face. It was slightly red and a little swollen. "What happened to your face?" Peter asked. "Oh, this?" Vorden touched the marking. "I got into a little scuffle of my own, but don't worry, I didn't lose. You don't have to worry about me, I'm strong." He flexed his muscles as if to stress his point. A loud growling noise escaped from Quinn's stomach, shifting the topic. Peter and Vorden immediately looked at Quinn, whose face had gone red with embarrassment, before all three boys broke out in laughter. "Sorry, I guess I'm still hungry after dinner," Quinn explained, his head behind his arms, trying to hide behind them. "Why don't you grab something from the convenience store? It's not too far away," Vorden suggested. Quinn looked at his watch and disappointment replaced embarrassment. Although he would have liked to buy himself a snack, he had no credits after their earlier encounter. Before he could even say anything, Vorden had come over and tapped his watch against Quinn's. "Transfer of 10 credits successful," the notification sounded. "Don't refuse, man. Just take it as my apology and go grab something," Vorden insisted with a smile. "Thanks." Quinn left Peter and Vorden on their own and rushed off to the convenience store. It wasn't too far away from military school, just 20 minutes by foot at a normal tempo. At the front of the school was a huge gate that had 2 guards standing at the entrance at all times. Only students, teachers, and certain military personnel were allowed on the school grounds. Any time a student wanted to leave, they had to show their wristwatch to the guard, and the same procedure was followed upon entering. Once past the gates, Quinn decided to test out how much 10 stamina points really were. It had already turned dark, and the sun was nowhere to be seen. He started to jog at a relatively fast pace to the convenience store. After running for about 5 minutes, he happily noted that he wasn't out of breath like he usually would be. He decided to run even faster, eventually reaching the convenience store in 7 minutes. Impressive, Quinn thought. He had run over 1 kilometer in just under 5 minutes, and he was not out of breath. He realized that his body had changed. He no longer had the weak body he used to have, but the body of an athlete. Another thing he noticed while running at night, he could see everything very clearly. Even when there were no streetlights, it was as if the moon had lightened everything up, a type of night vision of sorts. Once Quinn entered the convenience store, he grabbed a few of his favorite snacks, some late-night ice cream and potato chips. That was when he suddenly spotted Riley and his friends in the same store just down another aisle. He ducked down quietly and waited for them to finish shopping before deciding on his next course of action. "Here, I thought I would have to track him down, but it seems like he's come right to me." As he waited, he looked around him, only to notice that next to him were a lot of masks. There was one in particular that stood out to him. It was a fully black mask that covered the top half of the face, only leaving the mouth open. Quinn waited until he heard Riley and the others leave the store, then he grabbed the mask and snacks and placed them on the counter. Ironically, while Quinn had been busy stalking Riley and his friends, he completely ignored the only other person in the store, Layla. "What the? We're months away from Halloween, so what is he doing buying a mask like that?" she thought to herself. She decided to continue to follow Quinn and see what he was up to. "Hey, we're going to just shoot some hoops in the park. You want to join?" one of the boys asked Riley. "Nah, you know my ability is useless for playing games like that," Riley replied. "I think I'll just head back and wait by the school gate, see if there are any more I can leech some credits from." The other two boys looked at each other. They felt guilty, aware that what they were doing was morally wrong. Still, they told themselves that they were merely doing it because they themselves didn't want to get by a higher power level. Riley started to head back to school and passed through a small park on the way back. The area was completely void of people at this time and had very little lighting. There were also plenty of trees for Quinn to hide behind. "It's showtime." Quinn hyped himself up as he put on the mask. Quinn continued to follow Riley through the woody area of the park, waiting for him to get a good spot before ambushing him. It was mostly dark outside, and the only visible light in the area was coming from either the moon or the single street lamp. Making sure that nobody else was around, he got ready to strike. "Even if he spots me now, he won't know who to come back to for revenge," he reassured himself, adrenaline pumping through his veins. Riley, oblivious to the fact that he had company, went through the information on his watch. The glowing light displayed his total of 80 credits. "I'm a genius. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner," he thought to himself. "With this much, I have more than enough to pay off Dan, while keeping some for myself. And as long as I stay on Dan's good side, no one will try to attack me." Riley was still lost in his daydream when out of nowhere something hit him from the side. He felt the impact on his face and staggered to the floor, holding his chin. When he looked up from where he had fallen, he saw the silhouette of a boy standing over him with a horrifying mask. Under the moonlight, it looked like real, making Riley panicked. "What? Who are you?" Riley shouted, his voice shaking. Quinn would be stupid to answer this question. He wanted to finish the fight fast. He ran up to Riley and threw another. Alas, this time Riley was prepared and lifted his hands, managing to block the. Quinn cursed as he quickly leaped backward. He lifted his trousers and saw his leg was badly hurt. "What?" Riley was confused as he watched his attacker fall back. Then the boy spotted his attacker's glowing wristwatch, which lit up brightly in the dark, displayed the number 1. Riley started to laugh, convinced of his superiority. "You must be one of the students I took credits from earlier. Let me guess, you thought you could get some revenge, huh? Nice try, but that's all it was." Quinn quickly used his inspect skill on his opponent. "Name, Riley Blade. Race, human. Ability, hardening. HP, 8 of 10. Blood type, B+. No wonder my leg felt like it hit a rock." Although Quinn's initial surprise attack hadn't been enough, he still felt like he could win this fight. He charged in once again, this time throwing a fist. The attack was faster than Riley had expected, not giving him time to use his hardening skill. Riley staggered back. Quinn threw another with his other hand, but Riley had predicted this, and had managed to harden his face in time. Quinn screamed in pain and stepped back, creating some distance between the two. "What am I meant to do if he keeps hardening his body?" Quinn was getting desperate. However, soon enough another thought came to mind. If Riley was able to harden his body, then why didn't he keep it hardened all the time? If he had, then Quinn's first attack wouldn't have gone through. Either it took up too much energy, or he simply was unable to. Given his level 2.5 ability, Quinn was willing to bet that it was the latter. Most likely Riley was only able to harden a single part of his body at a time. It was just a theory, but Quinn had nothing to lose, and this gave him a plan. He ran forward at Riley once more, shouting, "I'm going to that ugly face of yours, even if it's the last thing I do." Riley hardened his face and was ready to laugh at his attacker once again, ending up hurting himself. But at the last second, Quinn changed his into a aimed at the boy's unprotected stomach. It worked, Quinn thought as the other bent over in pain. Riley lay on the ground defenseless. "Second fight has been completed. 50 EXP received. Additional reward 20 EXP received. 100 of 100 EXP. You have reached the maximum amount of EXP. Would you like to level up?" Would I like to level up? Why even bother asking? Quinn wondered what possible reason he might have to not immediately accept. "Once you have leveled up, any changes will be irreversible." Not heeding the warning, Quinn shouted out, "Who cares? Yes!" "Congratulations, you are now level 2. Evolution process has started." Evolution? His euphoria from a moment ago had instantly vanished, replaced with a large stabbing pain in his heart. The organ started to beat faster than it had ever done before. the blood rushing through his veins, all over his body. The excruciating pain was too much for him. Falling on his knees, he tried his best to refrain from screaming, afraid he might alarm someone. The pain continued to spread throughout his body. He was so focused on that feeling that he failed to notice that his broken hand was healing alongside his leg, his full attention on the sharp stabbing pain, now in his teeth. Yet in reality only 5 minutes passed before a new notification appeared before him. "Congratulations, you have successfully evolved. You are now a halfling." Quinn stared at the words the system was showing him, unable to make sense of them. He had never heard of the term halfling before, and apparently the process was irreversible. Before he could spend any more time on it, even more messages appeared. "Your stats have increased. Skill unlocked. Level 1 blood swipe." He had no time to check his new stats, as yet another message showed itself, this one bolder than the previous ones. It drove Quinn into a state of shock. "Your hunger grows. You can no longer suppress your need for blood. Your HP will decrease by -1 HP every hour until you have consumed human blood."
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.